Hey everyone, gwsmallwood, the Shaving Disciple here, and today I have the versus battle that a lot of you have been asking for since seeing my Heritage Adjustable video. So today we have the Heritage Adjustable Homage to the Gibbs, the tester version, versus the actual Gibbs razor. So I have to start this video by saying thank you to a member over at the Shave Den, shaving forum that I'm a part of, who generously offered to send me his Gibbs adjustable razor so I could do this video for you guys. He was very curious to see how the new Heritage Homage version of the razor stacked up against the original Gibbs. So he very graciously offered to send me his actual Gibbs to try out. So again, thank you very much. I know all of the people watching this video are really going to appreciate the fact that you lent me this razor so that I could do this comparison video. So let's start by doing a little tail of the tape between these two guys. So in my left hand, will be on your right, I have the Heritage Adjustable, which is an homage to the Gibbs. And in my right hand, on your left, I have the actual Gibbs razor. So this guy is a tester version. It's probably going to be very close to the actual released version, but this particular one is the tester. This was released in 2021, so I just got this a few weeks ago. This is the Gibbs razor from around 1938, I think is when this first started coming out, and I think they were made until about the 1950s. This is from Heritage Collection, which is Neil Breed owns Heritage Collection, and he's based in the US, but it is manufactured in China. This was a French razor. So the Heritage Adjustable takes a standard double-edged blade. The Gibbs were originally meant to take a proprietary blade. So I don't know if you guys can see that little bar on the end of the head there. So that basically blocks the blade tabs. So the original Gibbs blades had little notches in them that would fit around those tabs. So nowadays, most people use these with modified DE blades. So they'll actually take and either snip off the ends or they'll cut the notches in them. There's a variety of different ways to do that. I didn't actually do this. The person who lent me this razor sent me a couple of blades that were already modified. So I'm gonna show you guys a few pictures of these guys. I took some side-by-side pictures, and I'll roll through those as I kind of give you the tail of the tape for these two razors. So looking at the pictures, the ones on the left are going to be of the Heritage Adjustable, which is an homage to the Gibbs. The pictures, the razor on the right in all these pictures is going to be the actual Gibbs Adjustable. The Heritage Adjustable razor is made from zinc alloy. The head and the adjuster knob are a zinc alloy or a Zamach or pot metal. The bottom screw-in knob is aluminum, and the body of the handle is plastic. The original Gibbs razor was almost entirely aluminum. They did make a brass variant as well, but the one I have here is the aluminum. So the adjuster knob and the head are aluminum. The bottom screw-in knob is aluminum as well, and then it has the same plastic body, but this Gibbs razor actually has a brass insert on the screw post so that the threaded portion is brass. The new Heritage Adjustable razor, that threaded portion is just plastic. So overall, the homage to the Gibbs is very close to the original Gibbs. The Heritage razor comes in at 74 grams, and the original Gibbs is 72. I was surprised they were that close because aluminum is typically lighter than the zinc alloys, but they did a very good job getting the weight very close. So 74 grams versus 72 grams. The overall length of both razors is 3.2 inches, and they both have the same 74 millimeter handles on them. Both of them also have the same there's a little bit different shape to the bottom of the screw-in knob, but otherwise they both have the same diameter, about 12 millimeter for the handle. Price-wise, these original Gibbs typically go for around 200 bucks. Now they're hard to find. You don't see them come up very often, but when you do see them, I've seen them often right around that $200 mark. The Heritage adjustable, Neil has said he's targeting somewhere between the $40 to $50 range, which is a really good price for a zinc alloy fully adjustable razor. All right, so let's go ahead and get lathered up, and we'll do a side-by-side shave with these two razors, and I'll let you guys know how they feel. All right, so we're all lathered up and ready for the shave. So I'm using a sample of Murphy & McNeil's Trinity. This is their Aventus take. Really, really nice soap, really, really nice scent. I'll be buying a full tub of this when this sample runs out. I don't know if you guys can see, but really, really nice sheen on the lather. Very, very moist, very dense, very shiny. So very, very good lather. Lathered up using this is a DS Cosmetic handle. You can get the same handle from Shave Forge here in the US for a lot faster shipping. And this one has a Frugal Shave 24 millimeter fan synthetic knot. So let's go ahead and get to the shave. So like I said, I'm going to be using Heritage adjustable on the left side, my left, your right. And I'm going to be using the Gibbs on my right, your left. So let's go ahead and start with the Gibbs. So I've got these loaded up with fresh feather blades and set on level 6, both of them. The alignment on the Gibbs is a little off, so it starts a little above 0 and goes a little past 6, which is not uncommon with the Gibbs, and from what I understand, some variation might be possible with the Heritage as well. So it feels really nice. It's definitely got some blade feel up on this higher level, but it's not menacing. It doesn't feel like my Progress up at 5 or 6. It's not quite that aggressive. So I'm going to be doing a with the grain only shave today. And the reason being that I think when you do across the grain and against the grain, when you're doing these side-by-side comparisons, you can tend to adjust your technique and it kind of normalizes the results. I find if you want to compare the efficiency of two razors side by side, then a single pass in the exact same way using both razors is really the way to evaluate that. So far so good. We're going to do a single pass with both of these razors with the grain, and we're going to see what the results look like afterwards. Now this Gibbs that I'm using on the right side of my head right now, it has some neat little 3D plastic inserts. I'm not sure if you saw those in the pictures that I showed earlier. Those were made by Aaron over at Frugal Shave. Those allow for the adjustment of the blade. So you have to cut the end tabs off of these blades or notch them to get them to fit in the Gibbs. And without those inserts, it's kind of a pain to get the blade aligned properly. But those inserts provide the little ridge for a standard DE blade to rest on, which allows them to align the blade for you so that you can just snip off the end tabs and rely on those inserts to align the blade, which is really awesome. And if I'd have known something like that existed, I might have pursued a Gibbs a lot earlier, because I just didn't want to deal with the hassle of modifying blades, but this is actually quite easy. So that's the right side of the head done. Let's go ahead and move on to the Heritage adjustable. So the feel of these two razors in the hands very similar. Like I mentioned, they're almost the exact same weight. They're both extremely head heavy. So they have those shorter handles, the plastic body, and the aluminum knob at the end, which means there's not a whole lot of weight in the handle. It's all up in the head. So this Heritage up at 6 does feel a little bit more aggressive to me. I think I feel the blade a little bit more. But as far as balance goes, these razors feel very, very similar. So much so that I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but the lighting and my shirt are different. So we had a wardrobe change. We also had a day change since I recorded that earlier part of the video, because when I tried to record it the first time, I set the Gibbs down and I picked the Gibbs back up without realizing it, because they look and feel exactly the same. So the first time I tried to shoot this video, I shot the whole thing with the Gibbs by accident. This time around, I've got the Heritage. You can see there's no little end tab there. So we've got the Heritage going this time. So yeah, as far as the way they feel in the hand, almost identical. You would be hard pressed to tell the difference in a blind pickup and holding of these razors. But like I mentioned, I do think that this Heritage razor has a little bit more blade feel. It also is a little bit louder, I'm noticing. A little bit more audible feedback there. What I'm curious about is what the results look like. If that extra blade feel, which again, it's noticeable, but it's not extreme. There was a lot of talk about whether or not Neil had the manufacturer of the razor duplicate the threads, because the threads on the adjustment mechanism are going to determine the blade gaps. And I don't think Neil asked for a direct reproduction of that. So there probably are going to be some slight differences in the two as far as the way they feel given the same number settings. But what I'm curious about is whether or not that leads to any differences in efficiency. So we'll see if one side is any closer than the other when we get done here. So yeah, I've really enjoyed getting to try the Gibbs, because it just confirmed how close Neil really got with this homage razor, particularly in terms of the look, feel, weight, and balance, which to me are all very, very close to the original aluminum Gibbs. Now, the one thing that's different that I don't know if I've mentioned is in the adjustment mechanism. So with the original Gibbs, the handle, the black plastic portion unscrews, and when you're adjusting the razor, you basically set the Gibbs and screw the handle down, and then you've got one full turn's worth of adjustments without unscrewing the handle. So you can see that freely turning there. With the Heritage adjustable, you don't get that same full turn of adjustment with the handle screwed in. You have to back off the handle, adjust the razor to where you want it. So right there, it's all the way down. So if I want it at 6, you got to set it, and then you got to tighten that handle down again. It's not a big deal to me. Neil said he did that to give it a little bit more adjustability, because by doing that, you can almost take that dial around a couple of times before the top cap starts getting too wobbly. So you can really open this up and get a lot more aggression out of the Heritage that way. I don't mind it. I think this is certainly easier for most people, because most people are not going to need that aggression. I tend to like more aggressive razors, so there might be a time when I do. I kind of like the option, but again, I'm not really particular to one versus the other. So that's the shave. I'm going to go ahead and hit the shower, because that's where I'll really be able to tell whether there were any significant differences in the closeness of the shave. So I'll come back for post-shave in just a minute. So I'm back after my shower and finished up with my Sterling Executive Man here, which pairs very nicely with Murphy & McNeil's Trinity. So the consensus, results-wise, I do think the Heritage was just a little bit closer, tiny bit, barely noticeable. So at the same setting, the same high level of 6 on both of these guys, I think there was a little bit more blade feel on the Heritage, and that came with a little bit of added efficiency. Not much, it's barely noticeable. All in all, these two are very close. Like I said, weight-wise, balance-wise, looks, I mean, can you tell the difference looking at the screen between these two? It's really difficult. So I would say that if you are looking for something like a Gibbs and you don't want to spend the $200 for a vintage Gibbs, this is going to be a good razor for you. If you own a Gibbs and you're tired of messing with modifying blades, this is going to be a good option for you. If you own a Gibbs and you haven't checked out those 3D printed inserts from Aaron over at Frugal Shave, you probably want to do that, because it makes modifying the blades and getting them lined up properly way easier. So that's my side-by-side comparison of the Heritage versus the Gibbs, which is the original that it's based off of. Hope you guys found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.